Hello, today we are going to talk about writing equations in slope-intercept form. This is chapter 4.2. You will find it in your book on pages 226 and 227. So let's get started. So, a couple of things that you're going to need to know before you complete today's assignment. The slope formula, which we learned in chapter 3, y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So, again, this is not going away. And then what we learned in the last lesson, the slope-intercept formula, y equals mx plus b. Okay? There are essentially two types of problems you're going to see today, and then we're going to apply them to some story problems. All right? So, the example one, you are given the slope and a point. So I'd like you to pause this video and then kind of write these three steps into your notes so you got something to look back on. But what we're doing is we're finding the y-intercept by substituting x and y and the slope m into the formula y equals mx plus b, which leaves the b as your unknown, the y-intercept. So you're going to solve for b. You're going to rewrite the equation in slope-intercept form. So that's going to be y equals whatever slope they give us x, and then plus or minus whatever y-intercept we find. All right. So again, just kind of like that last lesson in chapter 3, where we were writing equations, you do not resubstitute x and y back in this step. Okay. We don't want to know the specific point. We want to know all the points on the line. So again, you leave y and x blank. So what we're going to do is we're going to try the guided practice on page 226, which is right here. We're going to do this one together, okay, and then you are going to try this one on your own. All right. So here is what it looks like. Again, looking back at our notes, we are going to substitute the x value, the y value, and the 3, the slope, into our equation. Okay, so I'm going to use yellow for x, red for y, and blue for m. And here's what it looks like. The y, 5, equals the slope 3x, mx plus b. And then I'm going to solve for b. So I'm going to multiply the slope and the x value. I'm going to add 6 to both sides. And that gives me b equals 11. So then I'm going to write my equation. Y equals 3x, 3 from the slope, and then the only part we had to find was the y-intercept, so the plus 11. All right, again, y and x are still, we have to make an equation, and they have to have an input and an output. Okay, independent variable, dependent variable. So I want you guys to pause the video and try this one. Here's a map for you to guide you through the process. All right, so pause the video and try 1B. And we can go over this when you guys come back tomorrow. So let's move on to the next example. So in example 2, we're given 2 points. All right. So really, this is the same problem, except we're going to use that slope formula to find the slope. They're not giving us the slope. Okay. So again, I want you to understand is once you find the slope, y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, once you find the slope, you are then in an example 1 problem. All right. So the only thing new to this is finding the slope, and you already know how to do that. So really, we're just talking about you guys working through a procedure. Okay. All of this stuff we know how to do. We're just putting it in order. All right. And once you find the slope, you're going to use either point to find the y-intercept, just like we did in example 1. It does not matter which point you use. Don't use both points. Just use one or the other. And then again, we repeat the process from example 1. So let's take a look at one on page 227. So here's our page 227. We're going to do A. You're going to do B. So here we go. First things first, we are going to find the slope. Okay? y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So that looks like this. I went -8 minus 12, and then 4 minus -1. So that's actually going to be 4 plus 1, which is 5. All right. -8 minus 12 is -20. 4 minus -1 is 4 plus 1, which is 5. And when I make that division, I get -4. So now I have a slope and I have a point. It just depends on which one you want to use. I'm going to use the 4, -8 one. So the 4 is going in for the x. The negative 8 is going in for the y. Y equals mx plus b. And my slope, again, is the m value, so that's going right there. So again, here for the y, here for the x, here for the slope. Y equals mx plus b. We're solving for b. So that gives me negative 16. Negative 4 times 4 is negative 16. I'm going to add 16 to both sides. And negative 8 plus 16 is positive 8. All right. So then we write our equation, and we're taking our slope from the slope formula, our positive 8 for the b value, y equals mx plus b. You guys go ahead and try 2b. Pause the video, and we'll go over this answer tomorrow when you come to class. All right. Now, in the story problems, you have to identify whether this is, I thought I had something flying in here, you got to identify whether this is an example 1 problem or an example 2 problem. So are they giving us two like pieces of data as ordered pair, or are they giving us a slope and an ordered pair? And if you look at this one, I'm going to guess my fly-in's going to come in last. But that's okay. So anyway, we are going to go through. Ethan has paid $16 per delivery. That sounds like a slope to me. There's only one number in this sentence, which is, again, probably the slope. Last week he made 5 deliveries, and his total pay was $215. This is our ordered pair, so this is an example 1 problem. We have a slope, and we have one ordered pair. The x value of the ordered pair, the output, the y value of the ordered pair, and how this situation changes as we increase deliveries. All right, so here's what we've got. We've got our ordered pair, the y value 215 right here. The x value, I have this backwards. The x value is should be here, and the slope should be here. So I'm kind of too far in the video to fix it. The numbers are still being multiplied, so we're okay there. This is a totally bad slide. I apologize. So this is an example 1 problem. Given the slope and a point, so again, this is what we're doing here. I'm going to make this multiplication. So 5 times 16 is 80. I'm going to subtract 80 from both sides, and I get 135. All right. And then I'm going to write my equation. And if you just write y equals mx plus b with the y and x, that's fine. I'm going to use the t for the y and d for the delivery. So I'm going to get t equals 16 for the slope times the delivery plus 135, what we found for the y-intercept. Okay. Again, your only goal on these really is to decide, is it an example 1 problem or an example 2 problem? This was an example 1, so they already gave us a slope, which was nice. If they would have given us 2, like maybe 5 deliveries, gave us 215, and they might have given us, I don't know, 8 deliveries for another value. Okay. And that's all you have to do for these story problems. Decide which one, and then follow that path. And then one extra piece, they usually have us do one more thing with these story problems. We're going to use this equation to find a specific point. So use the equation in Guided Practice 3, that's what we just did, to predict how much money Ethan will earn in a week if he makes 8 deliveries. So that's my x value. I'm just going to put that in for x. So the total amount he makes is the $16 per delivery. He made 8 deliveries, and then the $135 y-intercept, which is actually his weekly salary. It's his starting salary. He makes this whether he sells 0, whatever he's selling, and then we just add this extra bonus $16. So I make this multiplication. I get 128 plus 135. I add, and so his salary would be $263. All right, that's the lesson. You can work on these problems today for homework, page 229, 25 through 39 odd, and 43 and 44. I hope this video helps, and I will see you guys next time.